shirt change. Alright guys, I'm going to break this video up into about 5 parts, so just follow along. I'll play each part in regular speed and then I'll show you how to play it. Now it seems like a lot, but it's not too bad. So you want to start with your index finger on the 5th fret of the D string, and then you're going to be using your ring finger on the 7th fret for the next 2 notes. So just pluck the 5th fret, and then put your ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string. Now when you pluck these, you're going to want to bend upward. So what I do is I use my index, middle, and ring finger on the 5th, 6th, and 7th fret respectively. I'll pluck the D string, and then I'll just push all my fingers up to get that bend sound. And you can do that bend twice. And then you're going to pluck the 7th fret of the A string with your ring finger, and then you're going to go back to the 5th fret of the D string. So. From here, you're going to go back to the 7th fret of the D string, and then you're going to go to the 7th fret of the A string one more time, like this. All together so far. Now after the 7th fret of the A string, you're going to move your index finger to the 5th fret of the G string, and then pluck that, and then pluck the 7th fret with your ring finger. Then we're going to go back to the 7th fret of the D string, and you're going to pluck and do that bend again, and then bend back down. Now after the bend, you're going to pluck the 7th fret of the D string again, then pluck the 5th fret of the D string, and then back to the 7th fret. Then we go back to the 7th fret of the A string, and this time you're going to bend downward instead of up. So. And then pluck the 7th fret of the E string this time. And then after that, you're going to pluck the 5th fret of the A string twice. So. So all together a little bit slower. So keep practicing that until you get it, and then move on to part 2. So part 2 leads off of part 1 on that 5th fret of the A string. It's going to sound like this. So like I said, we're going to lead off from that 5th fret of the A string that we ended on in the first part. So you're going to pluck the 5th fret, and then you're going to move down to the 4th fret with your index finger. And when you pluck the 4th fret, you're going to slide up back to the 5th fret. So. Then move up to the 7th fret of the A string, and you're going to pluck that note, pluck it one more time, and slide up to the 9th fret of the A string. From the 9th fret, you're going to pluck the 9th fret one more time, and then you're going to move up to the 6th fret of the D string and pluck that and slide up to the 7th fret. And then you're going to pluck the 7th fret of the D string and then move up to the 6th fret of the G string. Pluck and slide up to the 7th fret. So as you'll notice, there's a little bit of a pattern here. So starting back from the beginning. Now after you slide from the 6th to the 7th fret of the G string, you're going to pluck the 7th fret one more time, then use your middle finger, pluck the 8th fret, and then use your ring finger and pluck the 9th fret. So all together. times slower. Then regular speed. And again, practice that before moving on to part 3. Part 3 uses some more bends. It's going to sound like this. So the bends and pull-offs might make this part a little bit more difficult for some of you, but keep trying and you'll get it. So leading off from that 9th fret of the G string, you're going to move up to the 8th fret here on the B string. You're going to pluck that note and then use your ring finger on the 10th fret of the B string. And just like before, use all 3 of these fingers to help you bend because you're going to bend upward. And then you're going to want to use your pinky down here on the 10th fret of the high E string, because you're going to pluck that note right after the bend. And this part's a little more difficult because you have to time the bend of that B string back down after you pluck the 10th fret of the high E string with your pinky. And this is what I mean. You got to bring it down so you can pluck the regular 10th fret without any bends in it. And then you're going to pluck the 8th fret again of the B string, and then go back to the 10th fret and do that bend again. So. And then you're going to pluck the 10th fret of the B string again, and this time you're just going to do the 10th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret pull off on the B string instead of the bend. Now the way to do that is, again, you want your ring finger on the 10th fret of the B string, your middle finger on the 9th fret of the B string, and your index finger on the 8th fret of the B string. When you pluck that 10th fret, you're going to pull your ring finger off and then pull your middle finger off. You don't have to pluck all 3. Just really quickly take your fingers off in that order. So up until this point, then you're going to use your middle finger on the 9th fret of the G string, and then you're going to pluck the 8th fret of the B string one more time with your index finger. So a little bit slower. A little bit faster. And regular speed. This one's going to take a bit of practice. Moving on to part 4. This one's going to be the most difficult of all the parts, and then it's going to get easy on the last part. Sounds like this. A little bit slower. So this involves hammer-ons, pull-offs, and slides. So you're going to use your index finger to bar the 8th fret of the G, B, and high E strings. And the first note you're going to pluck is the 8th fret of the G, and you're going to hammer on using your middle finger to the 9th fret of the G string. Then you're going to pluck the 8th fret of the high E string, and that's why you're barring it. Then you're going to pluck the 9th fret again, and use your pinky to go to the 11th fret of the B string, and you're going to pluck that next. Then you're going to pluck the 9th fret again, and then you're going to use your ring finger on the 10th fret of the B string, pluck that note, and then pluck the 9th fret again. So you're alternating the 9th fret of the G string with these other notes. Now here's where the part gets tricky. So after plucking that 9th fret one more time, you're going to move your fingers like this. Use your ring finger on the 12th fret of the G string, and you're going to have your index finger on the 10th fret of the G string. So you can pluck the 12th fret first, and then the 10th fret. And it's pretty quick. Now here's the part that gets a little bit tricky because you got to do one of those 3-note pull-offs. So you're going to want to move your ring finger to the 12th fret of the D string, and put your middle finger on the 11th fret and your index finger on the 10th fret of the D string. So what you're going to want to do is pluck the 12th fret and then pull off to the 11th and pull off to the 10th really quickly. It would sound a lot better if I had an amp. After that, you're going to pluck the 12th fret of the A string with your ring finger, and then you're going to have your index finger on the 10th fret of the A string. And when you pluck the 10th fret, you're going to hammer on back to the 12th fret. Then you go back to the 10th fret of the D string, pluck that note, then pluck the 12th fret, pluck the 12th fret one more time, and you're going to slide up to the 14th fret. And then you're going to go back down to the 10th fret of the D string. So from that 3-note pull off, and all together. Bit faster. Practice, practice, practice. Alright guys, this is the easiest part of the solo. It sounds like this. So what I do is I start with my ring finger on the 12th fret of the A string, and I put my index finger on the 10th fret of the A string, because you're going to do 2 pull-offs. And what you do is pluck the 12th fret, and then just pull the ring finger off of the 12th fret so the 10th fret rings out. And you do that twice. From there, I use my ring finger on the 10th fret of the A string, pluck that note, and then I'm going to slide up to the 12th fret, and then use my index finger on the 10th fret of the G string. Next, I use my middle finger on the 8th fret of the A string, and I'm going to slide up to the 10th fret and use my index finger on the 9th fret of the G string this time. So from here. And then I'm going to go down here with my middle finger on the 6th fret of the G string. And when I pluck that note, I'm going to slide up to the 11th fret. And when I do this, I'm going to put my ring finger on the 11th fret of the high E string. And I'm going to lightly touch the B string so it doesn't ring out, because you're going to strum down on the G and E strings. And then hold that shape and go down to the 10th fret of the G and high E strings. Strum that, and then go down to the 8th fret with that same shape. So the last 3 chords are. So all together. And regular speed. Like I said, that's the easiest part to play. Now I'm going to play it all together at about half speed and try to follow along if you can. And that does it for this lesson, guys. I hope you're able to learn it, and if this is your first time here, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button if you learned something, and also check out some of my other videos that I have posted on the sidebar here in related videos. If you want to learn some more songs on guitar, you might find one you like, and if you don't, go ahead and leave your requests in the comment box down below and I'll add them to my list. I'll try to get to them as fast as I can. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.